When you hear nuclear attack, you probably picture a Hollywood apocalypse. Explosions that defy physics, heroes emerging unscathed, and a world instantly transformed into a cinematic wasteland. A blinding flash, brighter than anything you've ever witnessed. An instant wasteland where everything is reduced to ash and rubble. Total annihilation. Buildings crumble, societies collapse, and life as you know it ceases to exist. But that's a myth. A powerful, pervasive myth, but a myth nonetheless. The reality is more complex and far more survivable than those Hollywood depictions would have you believe. It's not about instant death and immediate chaos for everyone. The devastation is real, make no mistake, but it's limited to the immediate blast zone. The area of complete destruction is significant, but it's not the entire world. Unless you're at ground zero, directly at the point of impact. Your real challenge is surviving the aftermath, the days and weeks that follow the initial blast. It's about navigating a changed world, understanding the dangers, and taking the right steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. The true threat is invisible, silent, and potentially deadly. Radioactive fallout, microscopic particles that can contaminate everything they touch. This isn't about outrunning fireballs or fighting mutants in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's about knowledge, understanding the science behind the threat and knowing how to mitigate its effects. Preparation. Having the right supplies and a well-thought-out plan in place before disaster strikes, and calm action, remaining level-headed and making rational decisions under immense pressure. The myth of total destruction is dangerous because it breeds apathy and despair. It convinces people survival is impossible, so they don't prepare, leaving them vulnerable and helpless. But survival is possible. With the right mindset and the right tools. You can significantly increase your chances of making it through. Humans have always adapted to extreme environments, from the frozen Arctic to the scorching desert. A nuclear event is just another hostile environment, albeit a particularly challenging one. But it's an environment with rules you can learn and use to your advantage, rules that can save your life. Forget the movies and their sensationalized depictions. Picture a serious emergency, like a major hurricane or earthquake, that demands your respect, your attention, and your quick thinking. The right knowledge, applied fast and decisively, is your most powerful weapon. It can mean the difference between becoming a statistic, lost in the chaos, and becoming a survivor, rebuilding your life in the aftermath. The initial event is out of your control, a force of nature unleashed upon the world, but what you do next, the choices you make in those critical moments, is entirely up to you. This is where your journey to survival truly begins, not in the flash of the explosion, but in the decisions you make in the moments that follow. In any survival situation, your greatest asset is knowledge. It's portable, can't be taken from you, and is your best weapon against panic. Understanding the threat and having a plan gives you control in chaos. Survival isn't luck, it's preparation meeting opportunity. The window after a nuclear detonation is your chance to act before fallout arrives. By learning now, you're already taking the first step from victim to survivor. This isn't paranoia, it's responsibility. Like first aid, you hope you never need it, but you'll be grateful you learned. Know what fallout is, how to shield yourself, and what you need to wait it out. Discuss your plan with family. The first hour after a blast is critical. Having a plan eliminates hesitation. Knowledge is your shield and your guide through the darkness. In the aftermath of a nuclear explosion, the landscape is forever changed. The immediate devastation is only the beginning of the challenges you'll face. The initial blast and thermal pulse cause widespread destruction. But the main danger, the silent killer, isn't the blast itself. It's the insidious threat of radioactive fallout, a consequence far more pervasive and long-lasting. Fallout forms in the immediate aftermath when the immense energy of the bomb vaporizes earth, buildings, and any other debris caught in its radius, thoroughly mixing it with radioactive particles created by the nuclear reaction. This creates a dangerous cocktail of irradiated material. As this cloud cools, these radioactive particles begin to condense and rain down upon the surrounding areas as fine dust. This seemingly harmless dust emits powerful gamma radiation, a highly energetic form of electromagnetic radiation. It's deadly, invisible, and silent, making it all the more dangerous. You won't see it, smell it, or feel it, but it's there, relentlessly bombarding your body with radiation. Fallout doesn't stay put. It can travel hundreds of miles, carried by the wind, spreading the contamination far beyond the initial blast zone. It settles on everything, buildings, cars, trees, and the ground, contaminating entire landscapes. Walking through a fallout zone without protection can be lethal, as the radiation exposure accumulates rapidly. Fallout usually arrives within 15–30 minutes of the blast, depending on the distance from the epicenter and wind conditions. Time is of the essence, and it can continue to fall for hours, gradually increasing the level of contamination in the affected areas. The danger is concentrated where the dust settles, accumulating in piles and coating surfaces. The distribution of fallout is rarely uniform. It's not everywhere at once, creating pockets of varying contamination levels. You have a short window, a precious few minutes, to get to safety before the fallout arrives and the radiation levels become dangerously high. Every second counts as you race against time, trying to find adequate protection before the fallout arrives. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get inside the most robust shelter you can find, a place that offers substantial protection from the outside world. Put as much dense material as possible between you and the fallout. Concrete, brick, earth, and water are your allies in this fight. The fight isn't just with the bomb and its immediate effects, it's with the dust it leaves behind, the invisible enemy that lingers long after the initial explosion. Understanding this process, recognizing the threat of fallout, and knowing how to protect yourself is key to survival in a post-nuclear world. In the face of a fallout event, knowledge is your greatest asset. Understanding the core principles of survival can dramatically increase your chances of staying safe and healthy. 3 principles working in harmony will keep you safe from fallout: time, distance, and shielding. These are the 3 pillars of fallout survival. First, time. Understanding how radiation levels change over time is crucial. Fallout radiation decays rapidly. It doesn't stay at its initial intensity for long. The first hours are most dangerous. Radiation levels are at their peak immediately following a fallout event. The 7-10 rule, a simple but powerful concept to remember. Every 7-fold increase in time cuts radiation to a 1/10. This exponential decay is your ally. After 7 hours, radiation is 10% of its initial level, a significant drop. After 2 days, just 1%. Waiting even longer drastically reduces your exposure risk. The longer you wait in shelter, the safer it gets outside. Patience is key. Second, distance. Putting space between yourself and the source of radiation is paramount. The farther you are from fallout, the less radiation you get. This is an inverse relationship. Even a small increase in distance can make a big difference. Basements and underground shelters are best. They provide natural shielding and maximize distance from the fallout on the surface. Distance matters. Every meter counts when it comes to reducing your radiation exposure. Third, shielding. Creating a physical barrier between you and the radiation source. Dense materials block radiation. The denser the material, the more effective it is at absorbing radiation. Concrete, brick, earth, even stacks of books. While not as effective as concrete, they can still provide valuable shielding, especially when combined with other materials. Make great shields. Improvise with what you have available. Every extra layer cuts your exposure dramatically. Think of it as building a fortress against radiation. Combine all 3: time, distance, and shielding. Stay sheltered, maximize distance from fallout, and add as much shielding as possible. These principles work synergistically to protect you. These aren't tips, they're not mere suggestions, they're the laws of survival. Understanding and applying them is critical. Master them and you dramatically increase your odds. Your survival depends on it. Your goal is simple: survival. Maximize all 3. Time, distance, and shielding, your holy trinity of survival. You don't need a Cold War bunker. Your own home can be your best shelter. Find the most protected spot, ideally a basement or a small windowless room in the center of your house. Reinforce it with anything heavy: furniture, books, bags of earth, even clothing. Build an inner core within your shelter, under a table or desk surrounded by more shielding. Focus on reinforcing the ceiling if you're in a basement, since fallout settles above. Pile heavy items on the floor above your shelter space. Every layer adds protection. Your home can become a fortress with a little ingenuity. Remember, time, distance, and shielding are your priorities. Use what you have. Think creatively. You can turn your home's strongest point into a life-saving fallout shelter. Once inside, you need supplies to last until it's safe to leave. Water is critical, at least 1 gallon per person per day. Fill bathtubs, sinks, and containers if you have time. Stock non-perishable food, canned goods, protein bars, dried fruit, nuts, crackers. Don't forget a manual can opener and special dietary needs. Aim for at least 3 days' supply. 2 weeks is better. A first aid kit is essential, including prescription meds and potassium iodide tablets if advised. Bring a flashlight, extra batteries, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio for emergency updates. For sanitation, use a bucket with a lid, plastic bags, toilet paper, and moist towelettes. Pack all essentials in your shelter spot ready to go. This kit is your lifeline while you ride out the storm. Once you're sheltered with supplies, the hardest part is waiting. Stay inside, do not leave for any reason during the first 72 hours. This is when fallout radiation is at its peak. Every hour you stay shielded reduces your exposure. Plan to stay at least 3 days, ideally up to 2 weeks. Use your radio for official updates. Don't leave until authorities say it's safe. Life inside will be tough. Focus on hygiene, rationing supplies, and keeping morale up. Set routines for eating, sleeping, and activities. Keep kids occupied with games or books. Support each other. Mental strength is as important as physical. Resist the urge to leave early. Remember, time is your ally. Patience is your armor. Trust your plan and stay put. Fallout is a fine dust. Keeping it out of your shelter is critical. Anyone outside after fallout starts must decontaminate before entering. Remove outer clothing, seal it in a plastic bag, and keep it away from living areas. This removes up to 90% of radioactive material. Wash exposed skin and hair with water or moist towelettes. No special chemicals needed. Seal your shelter. Close windows and doors, turn off ventilation, and use duct tape and plastic to cover gaps. Create an airtight barrier to keep fallout out. Prioritize drinking water over washing, but do what you can to remove dust. Your goal? Keep your living space a clean bubble. Simple steps can make a huge difference. Only leave your shelter when authorities say it's safe, or after 2 weeks if there's no guidance. The world outside will be changed. Move cautiously. Fallout danger drops, but hot spots may remain. Send one person out first, covered head to toe for a quick check. Avoid stirring up dust. Walk on paved surfaces if possible. Watch for areas where water pooled and dried. These can be more radioactive. If you have a Geiger counter, use it. Otherwise, rely on caution. Reconnect with other survivors and community centers. Your preparation makes you a leader and a beacon of hope. You survived the fallout, now it's time to rebuild.